Hello everybody, it is January and I have just come back from my very first urban sketching trip of 2026. It is an extremely cold day outside. I think it's about 10 degrees Fahrenheit, that's negative 12 Celsius. So I was not sketching outside. Instead, I went to the New England Botanical Garden at Tower Hill and enjoyed some tropical greenhouse vibes. I'm going to show you some of that in a minute. But what I want to talk about in this video is what's in my urban sketch kit for 2026. I hadn't really used my sketch kit much since I traveled at Christmas. I took it with me to Florida and got to do some lovely warm weather sketching. And since I came home, my bag was in complete disarray until today. So to get ready to go to the garden, I cleaned out my whole bag. I made some decisions about what should be in there for 2026, took a good hard look at all my supplies. And in this video, I'm going to show you what made the cut and talk about why. Let's take a look. The first thing I want to show you is the bag that I use, which is this lovely pink bag. This was made by the London Bag Company. It's called, the particular bag is the Roca, and I absolutely love this bag. It is my dedicated go-to sketching bag. So it's got heavy-duty shoulder straps. It has a little security pocket back here where I could tuck my wallet so that it's kind of safe. It has two outside pockets. What I usually do with those is put my water bottle for drinking water in one, and then my two little water cups. These are just two Nalgene, really small, like 2-ounce Nalgenes that have magnets on the bottom. So I usually have those in one of those outside pouches and my drinking water bottle in the other. If it's a rainy day, I can put an umbrella in one of those. It has an outside zipper pocket, and that's usually where I just put things like snacks and in the summer sunscreen, all those goodies. And then inside the bag, you're not really going to be able to see, but it actually has a laptop sleeve. I don't use it for that, but that's where I put my sketchbook. It has two smaller pockets. It has some pen pockets. It has another zipper pouch, and I just love this bag. I know a lot of urban sketchers try to keep everything as teeny tiny as humanly possible. Frankly, this is as small as I can go. So I know to a lot of urban sketchers, this bag is massive, but to me, it is perfect. It's not too heavy and it fits a lot of stuff. So let's see what's inside. All right, well, the first thing I need in my sketching bag, obviously, is my sketchbook. This is a sketchbook that I started last summer. Let's see if I can figure out when exactly. August, maybe? I'm not ready to do a sketchbook tour yet, so you'll have to wait for that. But yeah, I started this one last August. This is an Etcher sketchbook. It was their limited edition with Arches paper, which, of course, for us watercolor artists, that is the gold standard. And I want to tell you, I love this sketchbook, but actually, maybe it's because it was so expensive, but actually I don't love it that much, I'm sad to say. My normal sketchbook is a Hahnemühle sketchbook, and I have one waiting in the wings for when this one was done. There's nothing wrong with this one, except maybe, I don't know, I thought it was going to be magic because it was so expensive. Oh, I don't know. All right. Something I keep in my bag is these silicone rubber bands. I keep 2 of these in my sketch kit, and then I use them to hold my sketchbook open instead of big metal clips. They work awesome. And I'm going to talk about this sketch in a minute. So, all right, I've got a sketchbook in there. In the back pouch, the laptop sleeve of this bag, I keep my sketchbook, and then I keep some other handy items. So this is my homemade lap easel, and it's just a piece of Coroplast. I've taped the edges because they're sharp, and I've stuck down some magnets. And the way this works is And I open up my sketchbook, and sorry, I know you can't see me right now. Okay, there we go. I slide this in, lay it flat. I've got the elastic from the sketchbook on one side, silicone band on the other side. And now I've got this nice unit that's ready to go. My water cup goes there with a magnet. And my watercolor palette, which I keep in a plastic bag inside my inside my Tink bag. So I've got, I always have some paper towel in there, so it's with my paint palette. I know I have it. And then I have my paint palette. So this is a little Meeden palette. The box, the metal box is by Meeden. I mean, it cost maybe like 12 bucks. And I took out the tray that comes in it, and instead what I have done is these little half pans have magnets on the bottom. I put the magnets there. I just got like sticky back magnets. They're really stuck, so I'm not gonna peel one off right now. But you can just get sticky back, like very thin magnets, which I put on the bottom. Let's see if I can get any of them out. This one's coming out. Okay, there we go. Oh. So you can see, it's just a little rectangular magnet. Hopefully you can see that. And that sticks to the pan, and then the pan magnets in. And that allows me to get, what do I have in here? 21 colors, I think. So I have spent a lot of time thinking about what colors should be in my urban sketch kit. I do have a smaller palette, but this is my favorite palette. So if you're a minimalist and you just do like a cool and warm of each primary and a couple convenience colors, like, you have my full respect. I like to have lots of choices. So I have Hansa Yellow Medium, Quinacridone Gold, Burnt Sienna, Alizarin Crimson, Permanent Alizarin Crimson, Cerulean Blue, Sap Green, and Carbazole Violet. I have Raw Sienna Light, Brown Ochre, Burnt Umber, Quinacridone Gold, Ultramarine, Serpentine Genuine, which is my favorite green. It's a Daniel Smith Primatech color, Buff Titanium. And then down here I have Yellow Ochre, Quinacridone Burnt Orange, Raw Umber, Cadmium Red Hue, Payne's Gray, Lavender, and Indian Red. So this is this is kind of my full kit. These are colors that I use a lot. The only color in here I would say that I don't use very much is Raw Umber, but it's such a handy color for mixing that it still gets to live in my palette, even though I don't use it very much. All right. Next up, what's in my bag? In my laptop sleeve with the sketchbook and the lap easel, this doesn't live in the laptop sleeve. It just lives in its plastic bag, nestled pleasantly at the bottom. I'll take this apart. I'm at the end of the sketchbook, so it really gets stuck in there. Okay. Other things I have in there. I have this folder, my Lindenwood University folder. I did my MFA in creative writing at Lindenwood University. I was halfway through my MFA in creative writing when I realized that I was way more interested in painting these days than I am in writing, but it's cool. I still got the degree. And what I keep in here, so I have an angle finder, which this is a really new addition. I'm excited to use it. Haven't used it yet. I have a little T-square ruler for when I need really, really straight lines. I have my homemade viewfinder, and I've talked about this in other videos. This is a piece of plexiglass with a cardboard frame that is scaled to the sizes I usually paint. So this 2 by 2.5 scales to 8 by 10, 7 by 5.5. I often paint 11 by 14. That's like a really go-to size for me. And then just a square. And I've used a very permanent marker to make a compositional grid. So that lives in here, along with some templates that allow me to make a pre-measured frame with composition grid marks into my sketchbook. And that allows me to draw accurately, because I can just plop this piece of cardboard onto my sketchbook page, trace around it, and make little tick marks where my tick marks are here, and I'm ready to scale my drawing and have the proportions be accurate. These scraps of paper also make great like test papers for my watercolor, like if I just need to be checking my mixes or the consistency of the paint. So this lives in my laptop sleeve there. And I have a brand new edition that I haven't used yet. I'm excited to use it, but it goes with all of this. And this is a two-sided clamp. And what I got this for is for when I'm out sketching and I want to be really precise, I can clamp my viewfinder to one side and then clamp the other side to either my travel easel or a table, whatever, to hold my viewfinder in place so that I don't have to be trying to hold my viewfinder still with my left hand while drawing with my right. So stay tuned for that. It's brand new, just went into the sketch bag today, but I didn't use an easel today. So I wasn't being precise in today's sketch. All right, what else is in this bag? So in the pen pocket of the bag, I keep my mechanical pencil. It is always there. It is right where I know it will be, and I can just grab it easily. And I also keep in there, it's really probably the phone pocket, some washi tape. I've had mixed luck using this in my sketchbook, to be honest, but I've kept it in there. Either it seems to unstick the minute any water comes near it, or it rips the paper. I don't know what's up with that. And I have a really cheap chip brush from the hardware store if I'm going to do a big wet wash. And I have a little traditional gray viewfinder for when my big plexiglass one is overkill and I just want to use a simple little viewfinder. All right, now there is another zipper pocket inside my bag. It's really handy because it's right at the top of the bag, and I keep a few things in there. So what I keep in there, I have a carabiner that is a bag hanger. So when I'm using my easel, I often hang my bag as a counterweight on the easel using this, or if I'm just somewhere where I want to secure my bag to like a chair so nobody can grab it and run. I do have a few metal clips. If I'm traveling, if I'm really trying to travel light, I will take these out, although, I mean, these don't weigh much. But because I have two silicone bands, I don't really need these, but you never know. They could be handy. And then the other thing I have are some dry erase markers, and these are what I use on my viewfinder. So when I have my viewfinder and I've chosen a view, I use my dry erase marker on the viewfinder. I'll just demonstrate by tracing this sticker. So I draw it on here. And then when I go to my paper, I know exactly where to place that shape, and I know how to scale it. So that's what the dry erase markers are for. And then the other things I have in my bag, I have some little pouches to kind of categorize the rest of my equipment and keep it all organized. So what I have here, I have 3 pouches, and each has its own little sort of theme. So this pouch came with, for Christmas, I got Sarah Burns travel brushes, and this pouch came with that. So this was a Christmas present. And I have a genuinely excessive assortment of brushes in here. So in this pouch, I keep a tube of white gouache for white highlights. And then I have a variety of travel brushes. To be totally honest, I only need 3 of these. This is my absolute most favorite travel brush in the entire world. It is a Princeton Neptune size 10. It's pretty big, but it makes a nice point. It just holds a great amount of water. Absolute favorite workhorse brush. I use it for every sketch, so I can't live without that. And all I really need to pair with that, if I'm being totally honest, is a nice thin brush. Not probably the skinniest one, but probably this is a black velvet. I love my black velvet brushes too. This is a black velvet number 4. It's pretty small. This is all I need for a detail brush. And realistically, I could probably do every sketchbook sketch I do with just these 2 brushes. But I do like to have one other brush, and the other brush that I like to have is a flat. And I've just added, this is part of why I wanted Sarah Burns's set, is she has these flat travel brushes, which are hard to find. So probably I could get away with just using this flat brush, which is her number 6 Shorty. So realistically, like if I was, if I'm going, say, on a trip on a plane and I'm trying to really economize, I'll probably just take these 3. But the others don't add that much weight, and I like to have them. I have some more of I don't have the whole set of the Sarah Burns ones in here because there's some redundancy with my other brushes. But I did put some of the unusual ones. So she has these really long flat brushes, which I think, she likes to use for gouache. We'll see how they go for watercolor because I don't really do gouache. I also have from her set the Rigger, which I am excited to use. It's so long and skinny. We'll see about that. And then the other ones I have in here are my black velvet brushes, which I think all my travel brushes need a little brush conditioner. So that's what I'm going to do when I'm done filming this video, actually. All my black velvet, I have a set of 4 black velvet round travel brushes. These are incredibly luxurious brushes. They're just gorgeous to work with. If you're looking to just buy one set and you're willing to invest, like, you can't go wrong with these black velvet brushes. They're wonderful. And I am not sure why this one is in here, to be honest. This is just around, you know what? I missed this morning when I was combing through my bag. This should not still be in here because I've got enough other things to do that job. All right, so this is my brush and white gouache pouch. Very handy. I'm going to leave my brushes out so I remember to put my brush conditioner on them. Then I have this pouch, which is permanent ink and special ink for the most part. So what I have in here are, first I have some Faber-Castell Pitt pens. These are brush pens, a black and a gray, and I have these in here to do value studies. They're awesome for that. I have a Micron pen, and that is like the pen tip. I love this for quick sketches. I also have a 0.5 Unipen waterproof fine liner as like a backup, so if the ink dries up. I have a fountain pen, and this is filled with carbon black ink, so it is waterproof when it's dry. And then I have some fun special pens. I have silver and gold for little accents, a white jelly roll pen. And this is actually a white acrylic marker by Sharpie that you don't need to shake. I have never had any luck whatsoever with the Posca pens. Like, I know people love them. I can't figure out how to make them work. This one just works. And this one, which is very fun, this is a Matte Hop pen by Pentel, and it's a super opaque ink, so it's like this bright yellow opaque, which I can put over the top of watercolor for just some pops of color. And then I have refills for my mechanical pen and refills for its eraser and a clicky eraser. So these are all my kind of drawing supplies that just live here. And finally, I have my little art supply pouch. And this pouch is for things that are water soluble. So right now what I have in here, and this has kind of just been reconfigured today, I have 2 Stabilo fine liners, just black and like a sepia brown. And I like these because they are water soluble, so I can put down a line and then use a little water brush pen. So I have 2 water brush pens, one with a fine point and one with a flat point. And they're just great for really, really fast sketches. And the same thing with my Inktense pencils. I sometimes use Inktense pencils for really fast monochromatic sketches. And I have an assortment of colors for different moods. So I have neutral gray, dark mink, oxide red, and deep indigo. And because I have pencils, gotta have a sharpener. So that's I have had a lot of other things in this water soluble ink kind of pouch. I'm constantly trying to figure out what I actually should carry because it's what I'll actually use. So this is what I'm down to. So basically, you know, these are the contents of my bag. I think, you know, I've tried to keep it pretty reasonable. I don't know, again, I know urban sketchers like to use only the lightest kit possible, but come on, this is pretty light. And it feels so great to have my bag just so organized. Everything has a place. I know exactly where it belongs. I don't waste any time when I'm on location because everything is so organized. So today I did my first urban sketch of 2026 at the New England Botanical Garden at Tower Hill. And I thought to end this video, I'll show you a little bit of the footage I took there just for a minute, and hopefully you'll be inspired to get out and do some sketching of your own. As I mentioned earlier, I headed up to the New England Botanical Garden at Tower Hill in Boylston, Mass. today. It was so cold out, but inside the orangery, which is where I sketched, it was balmy and humid and warm. There was a fountain tinkling away. There was fruit growing on the trees. It was absolutely gorgeous. And I got there pretty early, so there weren't many people around, and I was able to have my pick of locations. And I set up right here. I liked the view through that arched doorway with the window beyond, and I did a pencil sketch, which I then went over with ink and watercolor. This one took maybe about 1 hour and 15 minutes. I wasn't there too long, just having some fun with it and feeling all that warmth. It was delightful. All right, well, that's it for me for today. That's what's in my sketching kit as I head into 2026, a year that I hope will be full of more art than ever. I already have a bunch of travel lined up that is going to give me an opportunity to take this kit on the road, and I'm so excited. I hope you're off to a good new year full of creativity too. If you have questions about any of my supplies, just pop them in the comments. I'd be happy to answer your questions. And if you want to know more about any of those, if you want to hear about them in future videos, just let me know. And also, I would love to hear what your favorite supplies are. What do you keep in your bag that you couldn't live without? That's all for today. Stay creative, everybody, and I will see you soon.